Hi everybody, welcome to Fit for Life. My name is Anna, for those of you who I haven't met before. I am an exercise specialist kinesiologist for the Aspen Primary Care Network, and welcome to Fit for Life. As usual, Aspen Primary Care Network is not liable for any injuries that may be incurred during this video. Please do these exercises at your own risk. Stay safe, modify as you need to, and if you ever have any questions or concerns, you can give us a call. So let's get up and get moving. We're going to start with our warm-up, and as usual, doing our marches. Wonderful, nice high knees. Get everything moving here. I'm going to try to keep things between that 30 and 40 minutes. Hopefully do around 30 minutes of strength and then do a little bit of stretching to end off. If you find that things are a little difficult, please take breaks as you need to. As I said, you are deeming yourself fit to do these exercises, so pace yourself, take a break. There's nothing wrong with that. Get those arms moving. You can do a little bit of a cross here. Get everything warmed up. Keep those knees nice and high. Hopefully I don't stab myself, my poppy here. So I typically record these videos and then post them a couple days later. So if any of the references I make are a couple days old, you'll have to excuse me. All right, let's do our polka. You should be feeling our heart rate come up. Breath is starting to get a little quicker. Remember, our intensity for aerobic activity should be at a level where we can talk, but not sing. So if I can still belt out a tune, I need to crank up the pace a little bit. If I feel so out of breath that I can't tell you how I'm feeling today, I need to calm it on down a little bit, pace myself. Okay? Wonderful. Nice polka. Light on your feet. Let's do some hip swings, making sure we're not kicking anything. Nice, big swings through the hip. Okay, really warming everything up. Remember, our warm-up is supposed to be just that. We're lubricating the joints, getting everything going. We're doing our best so that we can avoid injuring ourselves while we exercise. We shouldn't be doing anything extreme, no extreme stretches or anything like that. We're not getting ready for a football game here. We just wanna stay safe and feel good. Okay? Nice hip swings. Good job. All right. Do some of our shoulder circles. Starting small, getting bigger. Nice circles. Get a little smaller. And change direction. Okay. Getting nice and big. Wonderful. And getting a little smaller again. Okay? Give your shoulders a little bit of a wiggle. Squeeze them back and down. Let's do that a couple times. Those shoulder blades, bring them back and down along your spine, making sure that we pay attention to our posture always. Okay? So all we're doing today, the only equipment I need today is a band. I think next time we're going to be using the wall. So think about that. Think about a patch of wall in your home that you can use that's relatively completely free and open for us to do a couple things. You don't need a ton of space. But for today, we're just using a band. Now what I've done today is I have made a small loop on one side of my band. We're going to use that because we're going to do a lot of work in through our hamstrings and our glutes today. So the first thing that we're going to do, let me just make sure we're all on track here, is a standing hip extension. Most of these don't have a band or you don't want to use a band. You can do these without a band as well. Adding this resistance is just going to make it a little tougher. So we're going to make sure we safely put that band around our ankle. We're actually going to do the first two exercises all at once on that foot, okay? You're going to hold onto your chair, and I'm going to stand on the band with my free foot, okay? First one is going to be a standing hip extension, so I'm staying straight through my hips, and I'm bringing that leg back, okay? You can do this without a band as well, making sure we're doing a big squeeze through the tush and relax. Hips are staying nice and straight, pointing forward, and we're trying our very best not to teapot here, okay? That's a different exercise. We can do that at some point too. Nice glute squeeze there. Okay, couple more. All right, we should feel that as well on the balancing hip. Okay, keep that leg straight. Make a big muscle with that big gluteus maximus. Okay, the next one is going to be a standing hamstring curl. We're going to do this right away on the same foot. This time we are bending the knee. So keeping the knee nicely tucked where it is, we're going to curl that heel towards the bum. All right? Try and do a pause when you come to the top and then slowly back down. Like I said, you can do all of these exercises without a band as well, and they are still beneficial. Things to keep in mind here, that you're not lifting that knee. This isn't a knee hike. The knee is staying put, kind of glued to your standing leg, and we're just curling up. Hamstring curl. You should start to feel that in back here. If you struggle with cramps back here, make sure you be careful with this one. And we're going to do a couple more. And then we're going to switch to the other leg. Good job. All right, let's get that band around our other foot. Sit down if you need to be a little careful during that. I'm just going to turn around so you can see what I'm doing here. I stand on the band with my stabilizing leg, nice and straight through my hips, good posture, and we're going to do a nice extension back. Keeping that leg straight, making a big muscle with that big gluteus maximus. Okay. Trying our best not to teapot. Okay. Hold that hip. We're also not rotating or twisting anywhere here. We're just going straight back. With all of our band exercises, remember, slow is good. Controlling that release is important, and it gives us a lot of strength benefits in that slow, controlled release. Okay, a few more. Big muscle. We should feel that on our stabilizing leg too. And last one. And slowly back. We're going to do the hamstring curl right away. So keeping our knees kind of glued together, we're going to curl towards the bum and coming on down. Nice hamstring curl. I believe I said it in previous videos, but strengthening the hamstrings and the glutes can help so much when it comes to knee pain and back pain. Quite often we're very weak in these muscles, and often we're also tight. So it's important to both stretch and strengthen them. So these little targeted exercises might not be those big exciting things that kind of get us really sweaty, but they are very helpful in keeping our joints happy and healthy. Okay, couple more. And last one. Good job. Okay, what's next on our list here? We've got some shoulder work. So, don't really need your chair for this one. Shoulder abduction. So what we're going to do, I'm going to hold onto my little loop here. I'm going to stand on the band. Abduction means to come away from the body. So we're going to, I want you to be in a thumbs up position here, and we're going to very nicely bring the arm up just to about 90 degrees and slowly back down. You can either be thumbs up here or thumbs forward. See what feels better. I never want you to be thumbs down because that puts us in a spot where we can hurt ourselves. So you can kind of be, my thumb feels best kind of in between a thumbs up and a thumbs forward. I don't really want you to go past 90 degrees. We want to be careful here, and I want you to make sure that your shoulder stays nicely down. We're not teapotting. We are really controlled there. Slowly back down. If you've had a previous rotator cuff repair, or you've had a repair or a tear, anything like that, any type of shoulder injury, be really careful with this exercise because it can really hurt. So let's switch to the other side. Things that you can do instead, just don't come up as high. If you're just staying in these first few ranges, that's okay too. Give yourself a little bit more space on your band if you need to. Give yourself a bit more slack. That's okay too. Pay attention what's going on here. Arm is staying nice and straight. I'm not kind of punching out like this. I'm going to stay nice and straight coming out. All right, that shoulder is really healthy there. This one can be a big problem for a lot of people, so be careful. Don't hurt yourself with this. Do it lighter. Do this with like a half-empty water bottle if you need to. All right, shoulder abduction, really working in through that supraspinatus, which is a very commonly torn rotator cuff muscle, and also that big deltoid on the top of your shoulder. Okay. Couple more. Good posture, so important. Try to keep it out beside you. Don't let that shoulder come too much in front. And good job. Okay, what do we have next here? We've got a fun one. It's called donkey kicks. So again, I'm going to be using my chair for balance. This time, I'm just kind of putting this band on my foot. All right, don't know if you guys can see that. I'm going to be coming down into tabletop position here. And I'm bringing my knee up is where I'm starting. My band is in my hand, holding it to the chair. I'm in a nice tabletop, and I'm going to kick out. All right, so I have that resistance. I'm kicking out. All right. Slow and controlled. All right. Feels pretty good. Making a big muscle in through that glute again. And try to do a few more. Feel that burn in through the hamstrings. And last one. Okay. my chair so you guys can see me a little better here. So I'm getting into tabletop, bringing my knee up, and I'm keeping that tension pretty good on there. Back is nice and straight, and we're going to kick back. All right. Slow and controlled. Trying as good as we can to keep our hips straight to the floor. And we're not twisting our back like that, okay? Nicely back. Ooh, little wobbly. Okay. Try to keep that back straight. Try to make a big muscle. Again, you can do this without a band, and it is plenty tough. Okay? Lots of work for the glutes today. Couple more. And last one. Good job. Take that band off of your foot. Give your hips a little bit of a wiggle out. All right? Next one is going to be another big one for the shoulder. Again, I'm holding on to my loop here. Try to make sure your loop isn't too tight because we are going to have to open this band up here in a little bit. I'm going to stand on the band now. So I'm taking the band, bringing it across to my opposite pocket. I'm going to stand on the band with that foot. All right, so you can see I'm nicely across. And I'm going to draw the sword, okay? Again, the most important thing here is make sure that your thumb is never pointing down, okay? You can see how my thumb stays nicely up. All right, across the body, we're drawing the sword. My elbow is staying fairly straight here, all right? With any of these big shoulder exercises, be careful if you've ever had an issue. Stay in the lower ranges if it hurts. If you feel crunching or clicking, as long as it doesn't hurt, I'm not super worried, but if it hurts, pay attention and modify as you need to. Either go lighter, do this without a band, or go into lower ranges. Okay, let's do the other side. So I'm bringing that band across the body. I'm going to step on it on this side, and I'm going to draw across. All right, make sure that your shoulder blade stays nicely down. You don't fall into this kind of crunching up to the shoulder thing. We're just drawing nicely across. Straight elbow. I'm going to turn here so you can see the elbow stays straight. And we're drawing across the body like that. Okay, keep going. Couple more. Remember our intensity. The first few should feel somewhat easy. By the time we do the last few, they should feel like we've got a bit of a burn going on in that muscle. A little bit of fatigue. Last one. Good job. Okay, you're feeling good. Take a water break. Making sure you stay hydrated. Okay, we're going to next do our big chair squats. So, because this exercise, this movement is so important to be able to do, we're going to make sure we do these a lot. So, getting lined up with your chair. Feet are a little wider than hip width apart. Toes are pretty straightforward, if not a little bit turned out. And we're going to just touch our seat. Coming up all the way and feeling good there. Ways you can modify. If this is too tough, you can do a quarter squat. Just come down halfway. That's okay. Do a sit to stand. That's okay too. Try and see if you can do it without using your hands to help you get up. That's fine. Do that, just touch. That's the full chair squat. Okay? If this is feeling pretty easy and you feel like you could do this all day long, make it a little tougher. Bring up that knee and squat. You can bring that knee to the opposite elbow and touch and across. Okay? Everybody is at different levels, so you just work at your level, okay? If that's the quarter squat, that's great. Making sure you come up all the way. We're standing up all the way, and we're coming on back up. We're not staying out here and just doing that. Okay, bring those hips into full standing. Okay, full standing. Touch and come on up. So find the modification that you like. Hold on to some weights if you want to. That's okay too. Challenge yourself. If you need to take a break, that is good too. Remembering our intensity. First few were pretty easy. By the time we get to these last few, you should be feeling some warmth, some fatigue, maybe a bit of a muscle burn in there. Making sure you're always aiming for that chair so your knees aren't drifting over the level of your toes, and we're trying to avoid knee pain. Okay? Okay. We get to sit down. All right. So the next one we have for sitting down, I'm just looking at my list here. We have some work to do on the front of the leg here. So, I actually still need the loop in my band. So what we're going to do, we're going to put that band around our foot, and I don't have it on the ankle all the way. It's kind of just around my foot. You'll figure out what works for you. I'm going to sit fairly back in my seat. I'm going to stand on the band with my other foot, my non-working foot, and we're going to do an extension as good as we can. Okay, just going to turn my chair here. Keep going. Nice extension. You can see how I'm coming in as far as I can. Do a bit of a pause at the top and slowly release. Remember, slow and controlled is good. That's going to cause those postural muscles to have to work. Slow and controlled. We should be starting to feel some warmth, maybe a bit of a shake on that release here. Good job. One more. And relax. Okay? We're going to do the other foot. Loop it around your foot. Standing on the other side. And you're going to extend. You can do this without a weight at home. That's fine too. Or a lot of people have, if you have ankle weights at home, those little strap-on ankle weights, this is a great exercise to do with those guys as well. All right. Nice and slow and controlled. Good job. Fuzzies on my pants. Good job. Feel that start to fatigue. Good job. Do a few more after you feel that burn, after you feel that shake. Try and pause at the top and then slowly come on back down. Wonderful. Last one. Okay. So let me just check my list here. Now we can take the knot out of our band. If you need to pause this and do that, you know what? I might just leave it in there because all the exercises we're doing, we can actually use it like that, and then you can untie it later. Okay? So the first one we're going to do though, before we get into our general upper body strength, we're going to do one last move for our hips, and that's going to be adduction. So we talked about the movement abduction needs to come away from the body. So adduction means we're adding to, we're coming into the body. This is a really simple exercise. All we're going to do is you take a fist, place it between your knees, and you're going to squeeze together for 1, 2, 3, relax. Squeeze, 2, 3, relax. We're going to go up to 5 counts now. Squeeze, 2, 3, 4, relax. All right, keep doing that. You can do this with your fist, or if you struggle with joint pain in your hands, you can use a cushion, a throw pillow, a rolled up scarf, anything you can use to just create a bit of space in your hips there and to do that nice adduction. We're working the muscles of the inner thigh here. Also, those muscles don't really ever get any love, so it's nice to pay a bit of attention as they're important in stabilizing the pelvis as well. All right, couple more. We should actually start to feel that in there. And relax. Last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. All right. Into our general upper body strength. Going to start out with our seated row. As usual, looping that band around my feet. I kind of place my heels on the floor in front of me, and we're going to do a nice row. All right. Hopefully you were able to get the knot out of your band without too much difficulty. I'm going to have to work on mine a little later. Nice row. Keeping those shoulders down where they're supposed to be. We're rowing up to our chest. A lot of times this is nice to do having the band looped around a doorknob. Okay. Kind of that nice chest height when you're sitting down. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. We're sitting kind of forward in our chair here. I'll just sit to the side so you guys can see me. So my posture stays really nice and straight. Okay, we're not relaxing, having our coffee quite yet. We're pulling back, bringing those shoulder blades together. Okay, this isn't a bicep curl. All right, that's going to come next. Well, in a little bit. Couple more. And squeeze. Good. Okay. Next one is going to be our chest press. Bring that band behind your back. Starting off at the chest. And we're pushing straight out. And coming on back. Straight out. And straight back. I'm going to turn to the side again so you can see what I'm doing here. Good posture. Straight out. Straight back. My hands follow this invisible line that's kind of coming straight from my armpits. Straight out and straight back. Keeping your shoulders nicely down, keeping that posture back where it should be. We're not curling or pushing here, okay? I'm not collapsing through my back. I'm staying nice and straight. And slowly back. Don't let that band spring you back to its starting position. Remember, we get so many strength benefits from that controlled release. Couple more. And last one. Good. All right. Now we're going to do our bicep curl. So this time, I'm going to stand on the band with both feet. And I'm going to do a nice hinge at the elbow. I'm coming on out. I'm going to sit a little further forward in my seat so my hands can come as straight as they're able to. Nice hinge, slow release. All right. Making sure, again, our back stays in a very happy position here. If you're starting to hoist or throw yourself into it, again, I'm exaggerating there, but even if it is subtle, like this kind of push into it, I want you to stop and slow down and think about if you're working too hard here and you might be compromising your posture, which can lead to problems later on. So do you need to stop and slow down and just do one arm at a time? I'm going to turn to the side here again. Keep going so you can see that we're working our full range of motion with our bicep curl. So full curl as far as you can and straighten out as far as you can. I am not just staying in this range, all right? We've got a lot more room that muscle can work. Full range of motion. Let's use it to its full potential. Notice how my elbows are staying tucked nicely in one spot. They're not coming out here, all right? This is not coming up like this. Elbows stay tucked to our sides. Okay, couple more. Feeling that in that bicep. And good job. Tricep extension. I like to do this one pound at a time. A lot of people do this with it looped over the doorway, so they can do both on a pull down. I like to just do one at a time. So I'm going to take that band, bring it across to my opposite shoulder. Nice high grip here. And again, keeping the elbow tucked, we're going to hinge straight down. Okay? Turn so you can see here. Straight down, elbow stays tucked. We're not going back like that. Okay? We're keeping it tucked. We're coming and pushing straight down. And we're controlling the release. This is the one that I have the hardest time keeping that slow, controlled release on the band. But again, it's so good for us to challenge the stability in through those muscles, those joints. Having good stabilization around those joints is going to keep them much healthier, much safer. Okay, couple more here. Feel it starting to get warm back there. We're really working this tricep muscle in the back of the arm. Let's do the other side. Hold that band across to our other shoulder. And we're going to do a nice high grip on our tail here and straight down. Good job. Nice and slow and controlled. Remember, we talked about how sometimes it's nice to have two strengths of bands at home. So on some of those exercises, like those rotator cuff exercises we did in that shoulder abduction, that side arm raise, it might be nicer to have a lighter band for an exercise like that, whereas with this chest, like the row, the chest press, and these bicep and triceps, Maybe you can try doing a heavier band. You can again modify that with your grip on the band. Shorter grip is of course going to be a little tougher. Some people double up on the band. Or if you need to do lighter, that's okay too. Don't hurt yourself is the number one thing. Okay, slow and controlled. Control the release. And last one. Okay, good. So we can put the band to the side. I'm going to take a drink here. We're going to do, my fancy stand. Oh boy, you guys, I'm obviously very YouTube savvy here. So we're going to do our core exercises now. So I have 2 of them today. We're going to do the first one is a cross-body biker, all right? So I'm going to sit a little further forward in my seat. I'm going to, again, semi-recline. So that means I'm just coming halfway back to the back of my chair. I'm not actually leaning against my chair. I'm going to kind of put my hands across my body like this. Actually, I'll go across my chest like this. And we're going to do a cross-body biker. So I want you to twist that elbow to the opposite knee. And then we're going to do the other side. Okay? Now, posture is the most important thing here. And I want you to not forgo posture to do a harder version of the exercise. So ways that you can modify this is to just place this heel on the floor rather than having it floating up. Put it down on the floor and then bring your elbow across. Okay? Twist, slow, and controlled. I'm going to come to the side here so you can have a side view. So I am going to semi-recline. I'm going to put my hands across my chest. I'm going to twist and back. Slowly and back. I think I like it better with the heel planted. And back. We really get to focus more on the twist and keeping ourselves straight in through our back. I want this twist to be coming in through here rather than you just reaching with your shoulder. You see how I can kind of twist with my hands like that and make it so yeah, I can reach, but I'm really not getting the same engagement in through here. So reclined, nice and stable, and I'm staying very stable in through my shoulders. So twist and back, and touch and back. Stay engaged and back. Stay very straight through your shoulders. Don't let them curl. Don't let that reach like that, okay? I want that twist. Make sure you're breathing. And you can modify this, of course, make it a little easier. Sit a bit further back. If you need to sit back in your chair, that's fine, okay? If you want to modify doing it as such, that's okay too. Slow it down, take a break if you need to, take a breath, take a drink of water. We're going to do another round here. I'm going to semi-recline, come across my chest, and I'm going to twist and pause and slow it on down and twist and feeling that very nicely on either side. Here, we're working the oblique muscles. We've got a couple layers of obliques that work together. We're really challenging those. Slow and controlled. If your back is hurting, please modify, make this easier. If you want it tougher, bring the feet up and do it with the feet floating, okay? Whew, that's tough, all right. Last core one that we're gonna do a second one here. We're gonna do a quick tuck and press. We're not gonna do a ton of them, all right? But we did this on one of the previous videos, I believe. We're going to imagine that we're holding something, or you can just do it with your hands, but we're going to, again, semi-recline here, and we're going to tuck and press, and tuck and press. And I'm a little shaky from those oblique ones. And tuck and press, tuck and press, tuck, nice and high. Remember to breathe and relax, okay? Ways that you can modify that if you need to. Again, sit a little bit further back in your chair. Maybe use the back of the chair for support and just see if you can get those knees up a little bit, or you can do one leg at a time too if you need to. Tuck and press, and then do the other side. Tuck and press. You can modify this as you need to, okay? The first thing that you make sure that you feel like you're safe doing it, and then you can play around with progressions as you need to or want to, okay? Make sure you're not hurting yourself. So let's get on up. We're gonna do some balance. Take a deep breath because that was a lot of work there with those abdominals. So we're gonna first check in on our balance like we always do with our tandem stand. So tandem means that we're looking on a straight line, heel to toe. All right, whoop. Tip over here. Heel to toe nicely on our line there. So stand on up. Have your chair nearby. Nobody falls over. And see, do you need that chair for support? Do you feel comfortable there? All right. If you feel fairly comfortable, I challenge you to take, I'll try not to knock my board over again, but hold on to something, and I want you to work on passing it back and forth from one hand to the other, and then see if you can follow it with your gaze. Let go of that focal point and see if you can watch it. All right, we're just trying to challenge things a little bit. See how your hips are doing. Are you sticking your butt out? Okay, let's switch feet. And if you're not at the point where you can pass something back and forth, that is okay. We're all working with what we have and where we're at. Everybody is at a different level. But we can see how these little tricks of something as simple as letting go of my focal point and having to follow my gaze with something that is moving makes it a lot harder. So let's see if we can, let's try and do that on one leg, all right? So let's think first about our balance on one leg. I'm making sure I'm soft in through this knee. If you need your chair or your countertop or something, make sure you have it. And we're going to first make sure that we're not squeezing our legs together when we're doing this. I want this loose leg to be nice and loose. That knee is nice and soft. All right, then take your water bottle or whatever you have on hand, and you're going to see if you can follow that with your gaze and feel how hard that foot has to work. We're doing so much strength in through the ankle and through the arch of the foot here. And let's try the other side. Right? Plant the other foot nicely, soft knee, and this leg is nice and loose. We're not clenching our knees together here. We are nice and soft. Check your hips to make sure that they are nice and even as well. You're not dropping in through that hip. We're nice and even here. All right? So take your object and you're going to see if you're comfortable. You guys, the worst thing that happens here is you put your foot down, okay? Nobody falls. We're going to see if we can follow it with our gaze. It's a tough one. Just wait until I ask you guys to close your eyes. We're not going to do that today. We're going to follow with our gaze. try your best and see how you feel doing that. That foot should have some big work going on there. And if you're not comfortable on one foot here, go back to the tandem stand. If that is a challenge and you feel like things are working hard in the tandem stand, that is just fine. Work at your level, okay? Okay. The board's not gonna fall on me again. Okay. We're gonna end off here with some stretches. We're going to sit down, take a nice breath. Of course, we're making sure we're always breathing during all of our exercises. I'm never going to do any type of breath holding exercises with you guys. We're going to start off with a nice trap stretch, putting this hand behind my back, applying just a bit of guidance with my hands on top here. But realistically, most of us have a pretty heavy head as it is. We can get a pretty nice stretch in through this big neck muscle just with our heads. Other side, hand behind the back. You can apply a little bit of guidance with that other hand. Good. Nice and relaxed. We're going to do it again on the other side. Hand behind the back. Little bit of gentle overpressure here. With your stretches, I want you to make sure you're always nice and relaxed. I'm never going to ask anybody to bounce any stretches. The classic example of that is the guy trying to get to his toes, right? With that bouncy, bouncy, bouncy movement. We're never going to do anything like that. Switch sides again. Just because if you're not properly warmed up, you can really hurt yourself bouncing your muscles like that. And it's not like we're, like I said, we're not getting ready for a football game or anything. We're just doing nice, gentle, controlled, safe, okay? Next one we're going to do is for a smaller muscle in our neck called levator scapula. So instead of putting the hand behind our back, this time we're gonna place our hand on our shoulder. You're going to turn your nose away from that side, kind of tuck your nose down into your armpit, and then I just tilt the back of my head, tilt it down a little bit in there. Give your nose a little bit of a wiggle back and forth. See where you feel that stretch the best. This is a great stretch for the muscle that is responsible for a lot of tension headaches. So this is a great one. Other side, hand on the shoulder, turn the nose away from that side and tuck it down into your armpit. Just tilt the back of your head down a little bit. I just kind of tip it with this hand on top. Nicely in the back of the neck, back side of the neck there. If you're feeling any pain or pinching when you're doing this, please stop and go back to the trap stretch if that feels safer. Other side again, hand on the shoulder, rotating away and tucking down. Nicely down into the armpit. This is sure a great one to do after we've just exercised. We're going to put the hand on the other shoulder, rotate away, and tuck on down into the armpit. Okay? Nice and gentle, nice and relaxed, and making sure you don't forget to breathe, okay? We're going to do our twist, so coming back in our chair, twisting right from your seat all the way to your crown. I kind of hold onto the back of my chair here and almost get a bit of a chest stretch in here as well, which is quite nice. Other side, we're going to twist. I'm going to turn to the side so you guys can see what I mean here. I reach for the back of my chair and I'm coming nice twist from my seat all the way to my crown. You can see here getting a bit of a chest stretch as well. Other way. Okay. And again. Good. Okay. I'm going to do just a couple quick side stretches here. Big reach. Oh, that feels good. Big stretch. And again, big reach, long through the side. Really reaching up over the head there. Good job. We're gonna do our glute stretch. Did some good work in through the glutes, the hips today. I can feel that in there. Ankle onto knee. We're never pushing this knee down, okay? Gentle with that. Sitting nice and tall, hinging slightly at the hips, staying very open in through the chest. All right. And the other side, onto the knee. Nice, tall posture and hinging forward. Again, as usual, if you've had a hip replacement or have any severe problems in your joints, or if you feel that stabbing pain in your hip or your knee when you're doing this, please stop and talk to somebody about doing a different version. I'm just going to switch to the side here so you guys can see my posture. I'm going to do ankle onto knee, sitting very nice and tall, and we're just hinging forward at the hips slightly. We're not curling. I'm not collapsing in through my back here, okay? We're staying very nice and engaged, and that is going to really get that stretch a lot more effectively than if I'm curling. All right, I'm going to show you on this side. Ankle onto knee, sitting very nice and tall. I'm going to try not to fall off my chair here. And slight hinge, very open through the chest. Check your shoulders to make sure that they're not crunched up by your ears. We tend to do that. All right, and relax. Let's do our hamstrings last here. Planting the heel in front of us. I'll do this to the side so you guys can see what I'm doing. Planting the heel in front of us. We're again sitting up nice and tall. Engage that toe. And we're just going to hinge slightly at the hip. Nice and open through the chest. Our shoulders are nicely down. And we're going to do the other side. Plant the heel, engage the toe, sitting nice and tall, and hinging slightly. Remember, the goal here is not to touch your toe, because that is going to curl that back and you're going to lose that stretch on the hamstrings. So posture is so important here. Sitting nice and tall, and just a bit of a hinge at the hip. That's all you need, okay? Last one on this side, plant the heel, engage the toe, and nice lean forward from the hip. And last one, plant the heel, engage the toe, sitting tall, hinging forward at the hip. Making sure that we're not overdoing it with this, because those hamstrings are quite often either really tight or really loose. So if you're one of those really tight people like me, make sure you're just going to where that gentle stretch is, that gentle pull. You're just holding it there and breathing into that. Okay, I want you to take a few deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Nice and slow, in through the nose. Slowly out through pursed lips. We're going to do it again. Nicely in through the nose. Slow it on down. Last one, in through the nose. Control that exhale. Diaphragmatic breathing, really good for clearing our lungs and decreasing that sympathetic nervous system firing. That's the flight or fight area of the brain that kind of drives all of our panic centers, and a lot of pain stuff as well goes on in there.
So if you have any questions, give me a call here at the office or stop on by, or you can leave a message. As usual, stay safe, everybody stay healthy, and we'll see you guys again next time. I'm hoping to keep these videos going, fresh ones every Tuesday and Thursday at